What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're back for another one. Here we lost one of our chat members, but it's all good. How everybody doing today? And yeah, this is just another live stream, middle of the day live stream. Just felt like getting on pretty much every day. That's how that is. But just want to look at a couple things with y'all. Oh man, looks like I don't have everything set up yet. All right, so gonna go and slide this on up there so you guys can see what I'm looking at also. Wrong screen. Uh, there we go. So everybody's like, this dude don't know what the hell he doing. It's true. I mean, I'm just getting started with doing this, so pretty much just learning as I go. So I just want to talk about a couple things. Not gonna be on here forever, but just wanted to talk about something. I actually saw this video this morning. It was about this streamer. This guy has been pretty much an issue, in my opinion, for everyone for the longest amount of time. And I honestly just would wonder why this, of all people, this guy has not been canceled. For the grotesque things that he says, he should be canceled. If anything else, he should be in jail. Because, I mean, in my opinion, this creator or this YouTuber is pretty much the example of what is wrong with everyone in America. I mean, let me take that back. Let me take a step back. He does frustrate me a little bit. The YouTuber that I'm talking about, he's the perfect example of what the majority of people in America feel. And when I say the majority, I'm not talking about the actual majority. I'm talking about the outspoken majority. The silent majority is not an issue. It's the outspoken majority. Those people who feel as though their opinions weigh more than the entire population. So I just want to play this video. Looks like my camera is giving up on me today. I'm not even going to trip on this camera situation. We'll just go without it. But I just felt like this was something that needed to be brought up. And this guy, he's actually probably one of the worst YouTubers that I've seen, but he gets the most clout from everyone. He's friends with everyone. He actually gets to go on stage and put out his opinions and beliefs. And there's a large population of people who actually agree with him. And it's wild because for a person who says things that are so detrimental to the entire population, it is amazing that he can find any people that can actually agree with him. But I'm gonna let Abba from Abba and Preach, if any of y'all know him, please go check out his page. Him and Preach, they do excellent work. They put out some bangers every time. They don't upload daily, but when they do upload, it is very much worth the wait. I just want to shout out them guys. I don't have much of a YouTube, but I still got to put it out there that those guys, they are honestly the goats of YouTube at this present moment. Anyone that tries to cancel them will pretty much just cancel themselves. That's just what that is. Unlike some people that have gone through the YouTube sphere, i.e. Tommy Sotomayor, Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit. These people, they put out their opinions, but their opinions are so controversial to the point that they actually they segregate themselves from the entirety of the rest of the YouTube population. Not many people want to associate with them due to their beliefs. But Abba and Preach, they're one of the few creators that are on this channel that when they say something, it's not meant to be a derogatory or meant to be, well, sometimes it can be taken derogatory because they can get pretty foul with you, but it's not meant to be disrespectful in a condescending way. I mean, unless it's warranted. But for the most part, what they say is constructive criticism that is aimed directly at a point, and they try not to veer off of that subject, which is something that a lot of YouTubers do not do, including this guy Destiny. I haven't said his name up until this point because I really just dislike this guy in general. It's not right for me to have that much hatred for a single person, but for some reason he seems to check all the boxes that I need in order to dislike someone with with extreme animosity. But for right now, I'm just gonna let Abba talk about what actually is going on with his situation, and it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad.
You guys can see the title. I stand behind it. It's not fake.
Sorry, I muted myself. I didn't mean to cut Abba off, but I just felt like I needed to say this before he really got started. I'm gonna restart the video where he actually began it, but the reason why I stopped it is because what he just said, the fact that Destiny is being accused, I'm gonna say it like it is, he's being accused of some pretty trash behavior. Whether it's, he's saying that he's having sexual relations with women and he's recording this situation. Now, the reason why I stopped and I wanted to bring this up is because Destiny is one of those content creators who likes to put themselves on a pedestal. They like to make it seem as though they're the arbiter of good moral judgment, and it's just amazing that a person who puts out content where they want to be the positive moral being in the entire situation. They want to have the best for everyone. They want to do something that benefits the entire population. It's amazing that a person with such a just reason for doing things would do something so immoral in his own private life. So that does bring up the question. A lot of YouTubers portray an image on this app. They want to make it seem as though they're a holier than thou, or they're a great moral person, or they're ethical, all these different things. And what we tend to find out a lot of the time is these people are hiding their true personalities. I mean, for all we know, this guy Destiny, he's probably not the best person with the best intentions in his life, concerning the fact that he would do some puff daddy type shit. So, like I say, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna restart this video. I'm gonna let Abba do his thing, because he does a great job at it. So I'm not gonna interrupt him this time. I'm gonna let it play through, and then I'm gonna just say something at the end.
You guys can see the title. I stand behind it.
doesn't
Can we
bite you in the ass.
establish-
Nope, I think I have a really good engagement with most of my hobbies. I think I do it pretty well. I think that my mental functioning is very high. I think my career is incredibly successful. There are parts of my life that I can improve, but I think that people look at some of the standard markers for trouble and they, for some reason, project a ton of stuff onto me. But I think I'm living like one of the healthiest, fullest lives that I possibly could be.
Constantly having poor relationships with women over a long period of time, or in other situations, STDs, different things like that. Eventually, that hedonism comes back to bite them in the life, and they also recognize they could have been investing that time a lot better.
So wait, what do you ask us about this? Like, what was your idea of this?
Yeah, it's not like I have like 100 kids and 5 million STDs and like.
No, you just constantly. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Well, you might as well. But no, you drop the accusation. Go for it. You just constantly what? Say it. No, say it.
End this, right?
All right, it looks like I had some internet issue go on. I don't know what the hell just happened. My browser completely crashed out on me. It's all good. But yeah, Abba was saying, Destiny, he's a very selfish person. I don't have to personally know this guy to know that he's a very selfish individual. I've seen some of his debates, and that was kind of what made me realize that he was a selfish person and that he only cares about his own personal benefit and no one else's. What I want to do, I want to show you something where one of the situations where I saw Destiny actually speaking, and it's kind of a weird one where, you know, he's actually speaking to someone about, you know, oh God, about some type of about laws that he does not agree with, or with the way that laws are actually made, the type of laws that are being created, the enforcement of laws. He has all these different opinions about how things could be so much better in the world. But like I say, he does this, and his main defense in an argument when he's not winning an argument is to talk faster. So I don't know what it is that he actually believes, but I can say that he is definitely probably one of the worst content creators out there. He makes content that is, if I can say, for lack of a better word, just completely trash. It is honestly the only word that you can use to describe it is trash. But in fact, I found a different one. This one right here. I haven't even seen this one yet. But I'm going to check this one out right here. This is supposed to be Destiny on the Jubilee. And this is him versus 25 Trump voters, which we know this is going to be very interesting right here. Me personally, I don't know if anyone has figured it out, but I did vote for President Trump. I have supported President Trump since his initial announcement of running for president back in 2016. I don't know if I was the first black person to support him, but I can say I was probably one of the first black people to actually be, how should I put it? I was not appreciated by people that I know for my beliefs. If you can look at my Facebook. I mean, if you were to look at my Facebook, you would notice that the entirety of my Facebook timeline is all Democratic voters. When 2016 came around, really, I was supporting Trump because I support Trump. But my complete vocalness of my support for Trump was more of a, I guess you could say it was more of a in defiance of the Democratic Party, because there are so many people that actually vote Democrat, don't even know what voting Democrat means, but they do it on a continuous basis. I'm pretty sure everyone's probably heard the term voting down ballot. So like those are the type of people that I'm talking about. People that really don't pay attention to issues. All they do, they know that they're going to go in there. They're going to vote for the elephant in the room. That's how they do. They just vote for the elephant in the room. Well, I guess I can't say the elephant in the room in this situation. It would be more of the ass or the donkey. But uh, basically, we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna just look at this video right here of Destiny completely, more than likely embarrassing himself with the things that comes out of his mouth. And you'll notice that when he gets to a situation where he has an actual person that creates a point that he needs to contend, what he does, he deflects and then he speeds up his speech pattern, and he just completely starts rambling off whatever useless anecdotal information he might have stored up in that raggedy brain of his. So, I mean, yeah, please just take a look at it. And I mean, if anybody has any comments about what they feel about him. Okay, this is just going to be part one of my part points that I was making at the start. When Destiny is when he is confronted with a valid question or a valid point, what he does, he deflects it and he brambles off whatever random useless information he has in his head. Everything that he just said right there was all speculative and all allegations. No one there is no proof that Trump stoked the flames. Whatever he may have said, he said. But this is America, where we have the ability to say what we want to because we have the First Amendment. So the fact that he said that he feels as though the election would be whatever the case, he felt that the election would get stolen. That is his right to say that. And for you to sit there and say that it is unconstitutional for him to be the president just because he said that the election may get stolen proves his point. You want to say that the Trump supporters are what did you say? You said that they're a cult. But when in actuality, the actual cult that is in the politics is the Democrat Party and all liberals that support them. Because you refuse to, I mean, you will not find a single thing wrong with a Democrat. That's just that. You will not find it. But you will find every point of a Republican or a conservative to point out where their flaws are. It's amazing that a person with the ability to notice the flaws in everyone else is not able to point out their own flaws. I mean, you're the person with all the great morals on the internet. you have the answers to every problem that we face today. But yet, you're the person that's doing making immoral judgments, doing immoral actions, and you're actually part of the problem with this Me Too movement. That's another thing that amazes me. All of these Democrats sat up here and they wanted to blame Trump for, let's be real, he did what any man would have done with the amount of power that Trump had back then. The one thing that Trump did do that is better than anything that the Democrats have done, he was honest about what he did when he did it. He was honest about it. And his honesty is being used against him. You notice how many times people point out the fact that Trump said whatever he said, or Trump did whatever he did, but when in actuality, Trump has never denied anything that he's done. He's never denied it. So they're basically pointing out already known facts. And if they point out something that we don't know, Trump owns up to it and he says, oh yeah, I did do that. Or if it was somebody that was around him that did it, he points them out, which is something that Democrats tend not to do. Right now, he's sitting here, he's talking about what happened on January 6th. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about January 6th. Now, I'm gonna move this up a little bit so I can actually see when this was published. And if we can see, this was published 2 months ago. 2 months ago, this was published. Now, he's talking to Trump voters, which means he has a reason to point out the problems with Trump. But the thing is, he will not ever point out a single problem with a Democrat. We can go back through some of his videos. If he does have a problem with something with a Democrat, it is not with their policies. It'll be a social issue. It'll be something along that line. It'll be a petty ass social issue. Those will be the problems that he has with a Democrat. But when it comes down to Republicans, he can find all different types of moral things that you do wrong. You know, political policies that you do wrong. You do all these things wrong, but when it comes down to himself, he cannot look in the mirror and call himself out. I mean, look, I can get very personal with this guy, but the thing is, I want to keep everything professional. I don't want to call him out and say what I feel about him in a personal way. I'm just going to keep things that I say about him on what I know about him based on the internet. Because there's a lot of speculation out there about him. There has been for a while. I mean, like we saw up in the clip with Abba, he said this, that he's had this conversation with him about his hedonistic urges. Hedonistic is not a small word to use. Hedonistic is a word that is used to describe debauchery, immoral debauchery. So Abba's had this talk with him. And as we heard in the video where Abba actually did say something directly to him about his judgments, he said that he feels as though nothing he does is wrong. Feels like he's at the greatest point in his career. Feels like he treats people the way that they should be treated, and all these other positive aspirations of himself. I don't understand. How does he have an audience? Like, seriously, how does he have an audience? This is not shade being thrown. This is not dirt in his face. But how does he have an audience? There are so many people that watch his videos on a regular basis. There are so many people that actually listen to what this man has to say, and they take his word as gospel. But they will not look at the things that he does and hold him accountable. I'll tell you, 2025, that is the word for this year. Every motherfucker needs to be accountable. That's just it. There's no reason for people to be doing these things up behind closed doors, get out in public, portray an image, and then get back behind closed doors and try to pretend as though they are not that person that they are in public. It's ridiculous. But I'm gonna let this dude going back to burning this goddamn food up real quick, because this motherfucker ain't making no sense. My point exactly. The man pointed out the fact that Destiny wants to say that it was like 10 o'clock when this shit started. When in 10 o'clock, motherfuckers was still down there, doing their thing, breaking away from the whole Trump situation. They were making their way down there. There were people making their way down there. But like this man said, it was damn near 2 o'clock when everything kicked off. So he's not even informed of what actually happened. And he just spits out shit because he heard it from CNN, MSNBC, or any of these other liberal publications that put out information for him to regurgitate. He is a pundit. He is just a tool that for the Democratic Party. He has no actual he has no authority in what he says. Everything that he says is already prejudged, it's already pre-thought of and everything. He just repeats the same shit over and over again. That's just what he does. And then on top of that, he not only does he just spew hot garbage, but he's a propagandist. He is a propagandist, and he is a very big conspirator. All he does is talk in speculations and then cook them up into conjectures to make a conspiracy theory. That's what he does. He does that a lot. He just amps up his audience, gets an emotional response, which that's more than likely the reason why he's so successful at YouTube. He is very good at whipping up his audience into an emotional response. That's what he does. That's the only thing he does. But beyond that, the things that he does behind closed doors do not project the same image that he gives to the actual public. And that's the problem. There is a big disconnect in what he's portraying and his actual image, his actual personality. That's a problem. That if I sat here and said that I did not know that Puffy was doing the shit that he was doing in the 90s, I would be lying to you. I have never been a consumer of Puff Daddy's music. I've never been a consumer of Puff Daddy's material. Now, before Biggie died, yeah, I consumed the shit out of some Bad Boy records. But after Biggie died, other than that 112 song, I really didn't have an urge to listen to Bad Boy music. The only song that I really played after Biggie died that was of any Bad Boy significance was the Sting sample, I'll Be Missing You. And I played that shit recently when I found out that Puffy was going to jail. So I really don't get how people can sit there and promote this lifestyle and then support the type of people that are go against the lifestyle that they want, that they promote. I mean, I don't even know what this guy is. I mean, I don't know if he's gay. I don't know if he's bi. I don't know his situation. I don't even care. But the thing is, he advocates for all these different groups. He advocates for gay, lesbian, bi, trans, women, men, black, white, when in actuality, he's the enemy of everyone. He's the enemy of all of them. He does not give a shit about trans rights. Does not give a shit about bisexual people. I mean, he may be bisexual. That's more than likely what he is. But he doesn't give a shit about their rights. Now, the fact that he's bisexual, he'll argue for his rights. But the rights that he argued for end at the rights that he needs. He doesn't care about any of the topics that he speaks on. He will allow men to use the women's restroom. Why? Because it doesn't affect him. If it affected him, he would have a different outlook on it. But let this motherfucker cook a little bit longer. I mean, this turkey ain't even started. See how we do? See how we push we moved the goalpost, bro. We moved the goalpost. Like, at one point, we said Trump should have done something. The man points out multiple things that Trump did. What does Destiny do? He backtracks. Backtracks. He's like, oh shit, I got caught up in my words. So what does he do? He backtracks it. And then he moves on. He's like, he should have done that. The third tweet, he should have done that when he did the first tweet. It's like, okay, there's no winning arguments with him. It's impossible. If you're going to constantly move the goalposts, you will never get to the end. That's just how it is. And that's how his logic works. He does not work with actual normal logic, normal reasoning. He works with this mobile reasoning where every time a point is made, he moves the goalpost just a tad bit further, a little bit further. And it gets to the point where people don't concede to the point, they concede to the argument. It's a difference between the two. If you concede to the point, that means, okay, you've convinced me of your side, and I will see things. I will agree to look at things from a different perspective. That is where you concede the point. You concede the argument. Basically, like, you know what? You really don't make fucking sense, but just to stop arguing with you, I just won't say shit else. And that's what most people do. They usually just back away from them. And that's how it goes. They back away, they get distant. There are very few people who actually just stick on him and stay hardcore with it. I know the one guy, I want to say it was the Whatever podcast. I can't remember his name. He's the smoker. I can't remember his name. You know, I apologize for not remembering your name off the top of my head. I'm not a regular consumer of the Whatever podcast, but I do remember seeing Destiny and I can't remember his name. They actually debated each other. And he's one of the only people that I've seen put Destiny on a back foot. Destiny push back and do his normal everything every day, you know, shuffle the point, move the goalposts, talk a little bit faster, try to confuse you with my speedy words that really are just not words most of the time. It's just me spitting out shit. And he didn't back off of him one bit. He kept his foot on this motherfucker neck. That's how you do it. Even when you do that, though, that's the craziest thing. Even when you do that and you make a point to actually prove that Destiny is wrong, what does he do? He does not concede to the fact that he's wrong. He will never concede to being wrong. What he does, he'll sit there and he'll either conflate the argument, he'll deflect the point, or he'll just say, you're not understanding me. That's just how that goes. You know, you just don't, you're not getting it from, you don't understand my perspective. Those are the type of people that we're looking at right there. People that when they actually are losing the argument, they just say, you don't understand it the way that they're saying it. So, I mean, like, he has millions of people that actually follow him. I mean, honestly, if he has good content over there, I don't know. But in every situation that I've seen this man in a political setting or in a debating set, a debating setting, it's the same thing. It's almost robotic. So the fact that he can talk fast is just because he uses those words so much. He just says the same things over and over and over again to the point where it's memory. It's straight memory right now. So this guy, he's probably one of, like I say, one of the worst content creators that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of everything. And when I say content, I'm not just talking YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook type deal. I'm talking period. Content, media, all the way. We're talking books, newspaper, magazines, movies, cartoons, everything, TV shows. He's the worst. He is the worst. And the reason why he's the worst is not because his content is bad. It's because the message behind the content is bad and wrong. If you were to put his content into a graph, you would have this section where 10% of the shit that he says might be true. Might be true. Then you might have another 20% of the shit up in there where you might not be able to prove it. But then there's that large chunk of the shit that he says, about 70%, maybe even more. Large chunk of shit that he says that is absolutely provably wrong. But he will never, ever, ever concede that he has actually failed at this. So he will just continue to go on and go on and go on. It's like arguing with a brick wall. You keep talking and talking and talking to it, but there's no change in this conversation. It's just a one-sided conversation always. That's what's going on with him. In his head, he has a conversation. He's going to say what he has to say. And then he has in his head the end result of the conversation. That's what he's going to take out of it. No matter what comes out of your mouth, everything that he takes out of this conversation is going to be about him. So, like I say, let's let this turkey cook a little bit longer. Oh my God. See what I mean? So, like the man said, what do you say? 1,150 people. I mean, that's how. I mean, that's a lot of people getting charged for a crime, breaking into the Capitol. When, let's be honest, Capitol is not private property. It's not private property. True, it's usually open to the public by like tours and shit like that. And that number of people are not usually going through the Capitol. But there was, I mean, them entering the Capitol did not even, that's not a reason to initiate any type of judicial response. That's no reason to initiate any type of violent response towards these people. At that point, it is a peaceful protest. That's what that was initially. They want to say that these people going into the Capitol, that was an insurrection. No, that was a peaceful protest right there. That was actually, they just want to say interrupting the goings of the House at that time. That was proves of an insurrection. They're like, no, it wasn't. They were in there for a reason, to protest what was going on in the House. So, I mean, if they want to protest that, I mean, public grounds. It's public grounds. And as we saw up in numerous videos, there were security officers in there. I mean, true enough. I mean, I don't know what happened outside the Capitol, but I've seen numerous videos of, let's say, the QAnon guy. I mean, he's just walking through there. He's just chilling. He's just walking around, you know, not having any type of violence, you know, promoting any type of violence, just walking around. You're just taking pictures, you know, just being an American, doing American ass shit. I wouldn't be surprised if that motherfucker was from Florida. But let's just be real. What of any significance was done to promote a response initially? That is a good question right there. I mean, what promoted that response? What promoted such a high level of response from the American government right then? But then when the BLM riots happened, there was no level of response. None. There was just complete, just chaos, violence, and just mayhem. I mean, we had the whole CHOP thing going on for months. I mean, we got places that still have not recovered from the Black Lives Matter riots. And this is bullshit. There is nothing changed in Washington, D.C. because of January 6th. Nothing changed. But all of these people want to act as though CNN, MSNBC, what else? This guy, any of these liberal, progressive, Democrat, stupid-minded people, they want to promote January 6th as the biggest the biggest thing ever to happen in U.S. history. And they skim right across the Black Lives Matter riots. There was a picture of a girl holding a freaking beer bottle where she turned it into a Molotov cocktail. They didn't give her any time. This bitch got off scot-ass free. Scot-ass free. And you mean to tell me all these motherfuckers for January 6th deserve jail time, and none of the motherfuckers for the Black Lives Matter riots deserve jail time? This is a perfect example of the what would be the best word? I get. It's not prejudice. It's not racism. This is just complete. This is when you have disgust for yourself. It's not black people that's out there talking about January 6th. The only reason why black people talk about it is because the shit is on the fucking news. Black people could give two hot goddams about January 6th. Other than the fact that CNN, MSNBC, and all them other motherfuckers, they promote it as if it's the next movie or the last movie that they missed. But then when you talk about the Black Lives Matter riots, you got things like the newscaster talking about mostly peaceful protests while the fucking city is on fire behind him. This shit's ridiculous, bro. Like, I don't understand the logic or the reasoning. I don't understand how you can get to that level of delusion where you think it is okay to disrespect not only yourself, but the entirety of the American population on a skin color. And then you want to do the inverse when it comes to people of a different belief than you. You want to treat them as if they were that was another thing. Why the fuck do we have so many people catching RICO charges all of a sudden? It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, and then when you look at the people that they throwing these RICO charges at, these motherfuckers getting off. They threw RICO charges on Trump and all the motherfuckers that he had. They tried to treat his lawyers as if they was part of a organized crime. Got off on all that shit. Pay some money. All right, cool. No jail time. And then they want to talk about this judge and the sentencing and all this shit. Man, leave Donald Trump alone. Y'all fuck with this man entirely too long already. This shit get irritating as hell. Motherfuckers get tired of y'all even saying his name, bro. Like, if you ain't gonna put, like Birdman said, if you ain't gonna put no motherfucking respect on his name, you don't need to say it. That's personal opinion right there. That's personal opinion. But like I say, let this turkey cook a little bit longer. You see what I mean by this? Like, what is the point to that? Like, you trying to sit up here and say that this man is not, he's unintelligent or something? Is that what you're trying to say? You trying to make the assumption that Trump voters are unintelligent? That we don't know what 1+1 is? The problem is not the fact that we don't understand what 1+1 is. The problem is you don't understand that you are not the most important thing in this world, the most important person in this world. That's what it comes down to. Your opinion does not matter. I honestly don't understand why 25 people felt as though they needed to go up here and actually debate this man. Like, that's really what's more impressive to me. that there are 25 people that know him that want to debate him. Because I don't think, I mean, I don't know how Jubilee find this shit, but I don't know if I could actually get up there and want to talk to this man about any issues. But that's because I actually have seen some of his I've seen some content produced of him. So I could not get up there and talk with him because I know whatever gets said, it's not going to matter. It's not. He came in. Sorry about that. He came in with a preconceived idea of what he wanted this conversation to be. When he leaves, he's not going to leave without that actual end result that he was looking for. So if you're right, he's not going to admit it. He's going to find something to try to make his point seem valid. And in this situation, as you see, everyone that hears him talk, the reason why they're raising their hands is not because the guy in the seat is not making good points. The reason why they raise